Hey guys, Sean C. Phillips here with another week of the Rough Cuts. And I wanted to update you on something I talked about last week. The one movie I talked about last week, Bad Ronald. A lot of people have been emailing me saying, Sean, that's coming to DVD soon. It actually just came out last Tuesday. And it's came out from Warner Premiere, which is a download service. It's not really download. You can download the movie, or you can buy a DVD-R of it, which they send to you, and it's only exclusively from them. It's the real movie. It's not some crappy thing, but it's basically the movies they don't have faith in, that are not going to sell in the stores, or they don't have any. They just don't feel like it's worth producing, 100,000, however many copies they would make of it. But they figure it's easier just to sell them on demand with people who want them for the few hundred that want it. But it is available from Warner Premiere, and hopefully, if it sells well, maybe if it sells really well, they'll just put one out in stores and think, oh, there's actually a point in putting this out, and maybe they'll continue to put more things on there, and maybe start to put features for things too, which I think I would love if they started doing that as well. But this week I'm going to talk about a film that I remember seeing once, years back on TV, and I was probably 4 or 5 when I saw this, and it freaked me out. And the movie is Savage Bees. And before I get into the movie, now this is one of these classic big box tapes. It's like, and you don't see this type much. This is one of the original VHS. This is one of the first ones that come out. And this is probably from the early 80s. And when you open it like this, at first it says Uncle Phil's. So this came from Uncle Phil's store, which was probably some weird rental store, probably in the early 80s. And he was probably selling off one of his tape copies when VHS was new, because VHS tapes, when you bought them when they were new, were so expensive. So this was $45, 95 cents to buy this, and it's in a case like this when you open this. And I remember seeing these cases a lot as a kid. I had one that was red for Inspector Gadget, and these are like, this is a dead type of case. If you see these now, you see this case, and you don't see these, because most of them got destroyed or ruined. You open it like this. This is this old type of label I remember always seeing on things I used to rent. Or a lot of times this would be screwed up because Blockbuster put a thing over this. Luckily enough, Uncle Phil only put this thing right here. And this, which is funny, look, it says H40, which probably meant horror, and number 40. So it's probably the 40. He only probably had, this was the 40th horror thing he probably got. Because like when you used to rent these, I don't know if people remember this, but they used to have this weird system where you would bring over the case itself, and then they would like look at the number H40, something like that, and then they would go on the shelf behind them and they would grab it. It was this weird old system that I think in Clerks they had that kind of system, but it's a real dead thing you never see anymore. But I remembered watching this on TV, and it scared the shit out of me when I was 4 years old. I always remember the scene, the girl was playing like this trumpet thing outside, and this bee ends up like flying into her mouth, and it kills her. And like as a kid, it always freaked me out. And I was always paranoid of bees, because we always used to have bees in front of the house. I used to always be afraid to go in the house and walk by them. Every time I got off the bus, I was like, oh no, these bees, I'm going to have a problem with the bees. It made me paranoid the same way when I first saw Jaws when I was like 5. Right after that, or 5 or 6, I didn't want to go to the beach. And I wouldn't go into the water. I don't know. Things like this always creep me out. But like the thing about this too is, when you look at a cover like this was all done practically. This was like, or however this was done, it was not the CGI cover. It was also a creepy cover. You look at horror movie covers now, they're these terrible, thrown together CGI mess. They're always usually a mess. You hardly ever see a good cover anymore. And the 80s used to see some of the most amazing covers for horror movies. They put more effort in the covers than a lot of times they did with the movie. But nowadays these covers are just these thrown together CGI worthless things. And it's too bad they don't just go back and start putting more effort into making cool, creepy, real covers. They used to be like these scary dudes in the front with knives, and like the covers you would never see now. Anyway, though, this movie basically is about this swarm of African killer bees that starts killing people in this town. And they made a lot of these killer bee films. This was always the one I liked best, and the one that I always remember. There was a lot of creepy scenes, like one scene with these kids in this clubhouse getting killed by the bees. I think there was a scene in a school. Basically, the whole town is getting swarmed by these bees, and they have to try and find a way to lure the bees all together and kill them. I don't want to ruin how they do it, or what they do, or if they win or what. But it's a very cool movie. If you can find this online, it's probably on Amazon used, probably expensive. Hopefully at some point this comes DVD, but I would not keep my fingers crossed. If, like, Wired Eye releasing, they put out Crawl Space, is the kind of company that I even told them I think they should put this out, but I don't know what's up with them now. But anyway, though, this is definitely one to check out. It's called Savage Bees, and here's the back cover. Anyway, though, thanks a lot for watching the Rough Cuts this week, with my Rough Cuts, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel, if you just came to this video, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel, YouTube/CoolDuder. Thanks again for watching.